hello. We are streaming from YouTube and from TikTok. So, yeah, let me try to fix the camera. And we have something very important to talk about today. Let me please check if my streaming is okay. And check on your YouTube. Let me enter. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please have your friends to join. Let me see. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, guys. So yes, we are here. I'm very happy. It's been a while. We stream live. It's been a while. So I'm really, really happy to be here with you guys again. Please, before we start, we have something very important to talk about. I'm just gonna wait till you invite your friends, have people to join us, so we talk about something important today. By the way, it's been like I think a month plus. I upload any video on both TikTok and YouTube. And yes, today I've decided to come in here and say hello to my people. So if you're here, just say hi. And again, get someone to join us. We have something amazing to talk about. I'm waiting, guys. Let me arrange this. Have it on the center. Yep. So guys, how have you been? How have your day? Has everything been going? There are some things I jot down here in my moments away that I really want us to talk about. We're going to be talking today about life. We're talking about life. When I talk about life, you can be like, oh, what is life? What does she mean? But anyway, before we dive in, let me just give ourselves a couple of minutes and wait for a couple of more people to join us. And we talk about life, and of course, we are open to other people's opinion. Guys, don't mind me looking both sides. We are here on YouTube and we are here on TikTok. So we have a lot to talk about today. I think this might be one of the longest live we've ever gone, but then very, very detailed. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. So this is the kind of life you don't want to miss. This is the kind of life you don't want to miss. Yeah, so guys, let's wait for the other people to come in. I wrote some things here, and today we are talking about the journey of life. The journey of life. I'm waiting for you guys to sign up. I'm waiting for you guys to get in your friends to join us. And while we do so, we're just gonna dive in. And when your friends come in, we're gonna continue from where we were. Okay, so I'm just gonna be reading from what I wrote, and then we expatiate on that. So, the journey of life. We are talking today about. Thank you so much for joining, Samira. Thank you. We are going to be talking today about the journey of life. So these are real talk that you really, really need to hear, okay? These are real talk that you need to hear. So yeah, let me know if you're there. Just say hello. So today, actually, we are diving very deep, not just the surface level about life. We are diving in very deep, getting more details, knowing what is happening and everything. So first of all, I wrote here that, the journey of life. Now, before you could want to stop and say, oh, what's she talking about? This might be the realest talk you'll ever listen to. This might be the realest conversation you've ever heard anyone talk about. So now I'm going to start with the first part. The first part is life isn't a straight line. When you talk about life isn't a straight line, what do you mean? I'm just going to give an example. You thought that maybe when you grow up, you're just going to get to school, you're going to go maybe finish kindergarten. You'll finish your kindergarten, and then you finish from there, you go to primary school, and you graduate and get a job, get married, have your kids and everything just go so beautiful. I strongly believe that maybe those were your thoughts. You thought like everything's just gonna happen like that. Oh, once I grow up, I want to be a doctor. You know, when you were kids, they usually ask parents usually ask those kind of questions. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher. I want to be, I want to be a lawyer. So in the mind of every child growing up, they'll feel like once I grow up, I finish my primary school, my nursery school. The next thing, I'm just gonna go to secondary school and then maybe some people say get married first and get a job and then have my kids and everything. But that hasn't been the case. I strongly believe that that hasn't been the case for neither for me. I used to believe like that actually. I used to believe like that, and yeah, that haven't been the case. So I strongly believe that each one of us have gone through the messy situations of life. Again, if you're new here, thank you so much for joining. We are talking about life in general, the things we go through in life, the things we thought life would be. So it hasn't been the case. Life has been messy. It has been more of a roller coaster. You get here and then you fall here. You get to this level and then you lose it here. You get to this one and then you lose it. So we want to expatiate on why things happen like that and how do we get to the victorious side when these happen. So you don't get to feel like, oh, this happened to me alone. This happened to me. Sometimes you see how people portray things on social media and you feel like, oh, theirs is good. Like they have it all and they are perfect. Their life is put together. They don't have anything to worry about. But I bet you that they are going through almost the same thing you're going to, but they are just handling it differently. They're handling it differently. And if you look at our YouTube, we're talking about in our YouTube channel, the title of our YouTube channel, the mainstream is the name of our channel is The Winning Mindset. So it all begins in the mind. Sometimes we plan and we strategize and we arrange things like that, but then it doesn't go how we thought. Okay, let me go back again to some of the things I wrote. I said the journey of life is messy. It's more like a roller coaster. I think I already mentioned that. Some days you're up and some days you lost it. But that's what make a real life. That's what make the real you. That's what make a real life, and that's what make a real you. Some days you feel like, oh, I've gotten the job. Sometimes I believe a lot of us have been there. You apply for a job and you're excited. You got this job. You're happy. Finally, you wanted to get this job and everything. You feel like, oh, God answered my prayer. And that's the roller coaster we talk about life. And in a couple of months, you're like, God, how did I even get this job? Lord, I need a new job. You feel like this was the wrong job for you. You feel like you want a better job. Those kind of things. And sometimes you feel like, oh, you want that finances, you want the money, you want this. And once you get that, you realize that you don't just want that money, you want more. So how do we handle the roller coaster situation of life? How do we get that? So at the first part, I talk about the part one. I said life isn't a straight line. That's the part A. Life isn't a straight line. Like I mentioned earlier, you thought when you were a child that you wake up or you go to school from primary, secondary, from kindergarten, primary, secondary, university, and you get a job, you get married, you get your kids, maybe you get your dream cars. Some people even say, I have some of my friends back then. They wanted to get married at the age of 20 and have their finished putting to bed by the age of 23. I have other people, some said, oh, someone like me, I even wanted to get married at like 21. And I knew that by 25, I'll be done. I'll be driving my best car. I'll be living this life. But that didn't happen. Why? Because life isn't a straight line. Things don't happen the way we think they're supposed to happen. And why am I saying this? So you don't feel broken. You don't feel like what people portray online, it's happening for them and it's not happening for you. And the next part I said, everyone's path is different. Okay, everyone's path is different. Whatever you're going through, and you're handling, I can be handling another thing, but it's not the same. Now, you can look at somebody and you admire, like, oh, I feel like this person have it all. I feel like this person is having it good times. You understand those things, but you forget to know that I wish I was that person. I wish I was this. I was having what that person is having, but you forget to know that we all cannot be the same person. Is that a house phone ringing? Okay, that's fine. Somewhere else. We all cannot be. Just imagine a world where everyone is a doctor. Just imagine that. Who's going to be the lawyer? Who is going to be the cook? Who is going to be the waiter? Who is going to be the teacher? Who is going to be, the engineer? So everyone's path is different. The fact that maybe my sister got married at the age of 21 doesn't mean I must get married at that age, because our paths are different. The part that this person traveled and got a job one day after doesn't mean that I have to get my job one day after. Maybe I could get my job before I even travel. Maybe I could get my job the day I arrive. Maybe I could get my job after 1 month. When we get that in our mind, we don't feel like life is not fair. Because a lot of time there is a slogan that everyone uses. They say life isn't fair, life isn't fair. I bet you that life is fair, just our paths are different. I'm going to define that. Again, let me read some of the things I wrote here. Exactly. I said, stop comparing your 2 chapters to someone else, you see. I wrote this here, but then I'm still going to read that. You stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. You can compare your life. You feel like, okay, look at what this person has achieved. Look at how far this person has come. Maybe you're in your chapter 2, or maybe you're just in your own path. And maybe that person has gone through what you went through and didn't actually portray it online. I didn't actually show it online for everyone to see. So you should stop comparing your life to another person's own. We all have a different purpose on earth to fulfill. Someone was born to be a cook. Another person was born to be a doctor. Another person was born to be a salesperson. Another person was born to be a businessman. So we are all different. And if you find someone doing the same thing you're doing, let's say, for example, Dangote is a businessman, and we find him doing his business and he's going. If you want to look at how long Dangote have been into business, it's so far that you cannot stand and compare it with Dangote, because that should be like you're in chapter 2 and it should be like in his chapter 50. So you don't have any right to compare. The fact that people put out their glory out there, they put out the great things that are happening to them out there, they put out their victories and everything, it doesn't warrant you to feel low at yourself, saying that life is not fair, it's happening for this person and it's not happening for me. Everyone have their pace, everyone have their life. Everyone have the path they are going. Everyone have the path. Sometimes the experience you will need to handle a certain situation will not be the experience that another person will need to handle another situation. So sometimes God lets you to go through those paths. So you will experience some things in order for you to encourage somebody you meet in the future who is handling something different, who is handling something that you had gone through. So you don't feel like, oh, why my own situation is like this and all of that. No. God has a purpose. Life has a purpose why it's happening to you. Stop comparing yourself. Again, I wrote here, your journey is for a reason. Just what I explained is for a reason. Maybe you're going through those things like, I have someone talking to me the other day, okay? She said that she has never ever struggled to pay her rent. She has never ever struggled to pay any bill. She has never ever struggled. She doesn't even know what it means to owe people. But lately, she's been going through some situations that almost everyone around her, she's owing, and she struggles sometimes to settle her rent. So she told me that sometimes whenever she sees people complain about their rental issue, she feels like, oh, these people are lazy, they are not serious. If you're serious, you're hardworking, you can always settle all of those things. But because life has happened to her now, she's not just sympathetic, she's empathetic. If someone tells her, oh, I'm having challenges in my rent, she feels like, oh, I've gone through that situation before. How can I help? Is there a situation? How much is it? Is this something that I can trip in something and help you? So sometimes life happens to us in order for us to experience what people usually go through. She used to laugh at people who owe their rent. Yeah. She'll tell me that I think this person is too lazy. Like, how can a man be struggling with your rent? How can a lady be struggling with their rent? It doesn't add up. But now she has experienced that in a whole new level. And guess what? When someone complains to her about rent, she understands. She understands, she feels the person, and sometimes come in there to help. Now again, we are streaming on both TikTok and YouTube. And our topic, we are talking today about life. life. And we're on the second part. The first part we talk about life is in a straight line. And the first part talk about life is in a straight line. That's the first. The second part we talk about everyone's path is different. Don't compare your chapter 2 to another one's to someone else's chapter 20. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 50. Don't feel like, oh, because people are portraying everything on social media, this person is not suffering, this person is just having it all, and I am here, everything is not happening with me to me the way it's supposed to happen. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. Everyone have a different time their life starts. When I talk about their life start, doesn't mean like your life starts. Sometimes your breakthrough can come when you're 40. Your breakthrough can come when you're 15. Your breakthrough can come when you're 20. You know, so don't feel like, oh, because yours have not come yet, it will not come, because you knew that once you grow up, you will go to school and then you get your job and then you get married, you get your car and all of that. You know, those times, sometimes life happens. Listen, life is like a roller coaster. We should be flexible and we should be open to change. And then let me go again. I have some notes here that I put down that I'm reading too. I'm just going to read again the second point I wrote. Hi, thank you for joining. I wrote here in part 2. I'm just going to reread it. I wrote here, I said, everyone part is different. I know we already talked about that. I said you should stop comparing yourself to someone else's chapter. If you're in chapter 2 and the other person is in chapter 20, you don't compare. You don't know. Don't feel like because you want to. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you. So what's the life about? Thank you so much, Superboy. The life is about life. The live session is about life. Like we're talking about life, you know, life in general, life, you know. Sometimes some things happen to us and we don't know why it's happening. So, yes. Superboy, thank you for joining. Yes, good boy. Okay, great. So, like I said earlier, it's about life, and we have some points we have pinned down here. I just had to come by here and share some things with you guys so we all can be strong. We know that this is a season where people are going through one or two things, and we feel like it's necessary we come in here. I personally feel like it's necessary I come in here and give some words of encouragement or empowerment, better say, because we know that knowledge is power. Some words of empowerment to help you shift your trajectory, to help you shift the way you look at things. And of course, we are streaming from YouTube as well as from TikTok, and our YouTube name is Winning Mindset. So we are going to the part 3 of our lesson. But then before we go to the part 3 of our lesson, let me try to expatiate on what I had mentioned on the first session. I'm sorry, the first part I talk about life is not a straight line. You know, when you're growing up, I love it when people are participating. Thank you so much. When you're growing up, you feel like, okay, this is what will happen to me. I'm just gonna go to primary school, secondary school, and finish, and then get my degrees. Get married. Get my job, get my degrees, get my life put together. But then, as we know, life is a roller coaster. It's not happening the way we thought it's supposed to happen. So in this case, what do? You have to put yourself together. That brings us to the second point where we said you don't compare your life to another person's life. Everyone's path is not the same. You don't compare your chapter 2 to another person's chapter 20. You don't compare your chapter 1 to another person's chapter 40. So people have different paths. People have different life. The fact that people come online and show their achievement and everything, and you feel like, oh, this person is my age. Maybe this person is 22, and I'm even older than this person, and maybe I'm 30, and I've not been able to achieve all these things this person is displaying. Life is not fair. I know that's a popular slogan everyone uses, but we all have different chapters of our life. My achievement can come maybe at the age of 30. Another person's own can come at the age of 40. Another person's own can come at the age of 18. And sometimes life happens to us so that we will experience and know how to handle it, or better still, encourage some other person. One second. Or better still, encourage another person. Let me just check something. Anyway, so guys, sorry for the distraction. Let me get again. So yeah, we're here. So, like I mentioned earlier, we all go through different situations in order for us to encourage the people that go through their own things. I think I'd mentioned here that a friend of mine mentioned that she has never struggled to pay her rent, and she started understanding people that were going through rental issue because she had that experience. She struggled to pay her rent for a couple of months. So yeah. And then the part three, it says every lesson, not losses. So everything you go through, you either take it as a lesson or you take it as a loss. It's up to you. So sometimes you can go through some certain situations and you decide like, okay, this situation, I'm going to learn something from it. I'm going to see how to make a betterment of it. I'm going to learn something out of this. Okay. So, yeah. I'm going to learn something out of this. Guys, sorry I have to handle something here. Hey guys, you're welcome. Thank you for joining our YouTube channel. So guys, we want a very, very interactive session, and if you can say something, please let us know you're there. Forgive me, but I have to do this. Thank you so much. Sugar Boy, how have you been? It's been a while. Thank you guys so much for the gift. Hey guys.
Have my tights still like this. I'm trying not to. Why did you go get it? Because I learned to tie easy. No. Because I want to tie it. You can't like someone can you get something to one.
So if you're just joining again, we're talking about life, and we've talked about three sessions, three 3 lessons. And I'm very happy for those that are joining. Please do.
Try again. Mommy able to type this. It's lucky. Please now.
I tell you, why did you get on getting?
Because I'm so tired. I didn't have to smell like this. I didn't have to smell like this. Where's the other one? Sometimes where's the other one of this?
Yes, guys. So sorry about that. So again, you're welcome. Someone saying, "Where are you streaming from?" Hi, you're look. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are streaming from Dubai, and we are talking about
Yay.
life. So we have been talking about life, and we are streaming on both YouTube and on TikTok. And the topic we are talking about is life, and we're talking about life in general. So some of the things we focus on, we talk about the first 3. We talk about the part 1. We said life isn't straight. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much. Nice to have you here too. Thank you. You're so kind. And so we talk about the 2 different parts of life. Like sometimes life is not straight. Of course, life is like a roller coaster. It can happen this way and it can happen this other way. So we shouldn't expect life to just happen straight. We shouldn't expect life to just happen, straight. Sometimes life happens in different ways, and we should be open to accept those changes. And then we also mentioned here that we should also, sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, when you're growing up, you feel like, okay, you have to go to school. You have to go to school, you finish primary, secondary, and everything, and then you get a job, you get married, you get every of those things. But then it's not happening that way. Someone is asking, where are you from TikTok. I'm a Cameroonian, and it doesn't happen like that. So once it happened like that, you don't feel down. You know that life is a roller coaster. Things happen, and we have to be strong to build life. And then we went to the second topic. I'm sorry, about the second lesson about life. We said everyone's path is different. Everyone. Oh, so he said I speak like a Nigerian. No, I'm Cameroonian. Thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. So, as I was saying, life is different and it happens to everyone differently. Okay, so what's happening to A does not mean that it will happen to B. It can happen differently to B. Like I mentioned earlier, it says sometimes some things happen to you It doesn't happen to you to make you of a lesser person. It happens to you to make you stronger and braver and more of an excellent person. Okay? So if life happens like that, it happens that you should push forward and be more positive. You look at it in a positive way. Like I mentioned in my I have a lot. So I just mentioned a friend who said she's never had any stress about paying her rent until she went through and she felt like people complaining about their rent are just, noisy and everything. She went through a situation where she couldn't pay her rent and she started appreciating when she could pay her rent and when she finds someone going through that thing. So sometimes life happens to you not to make you of a lesser person, but it happens to you to make you have a lesson to understand how this other person is going through, why this other person is going through, how this person is handling things. When life happens to you, it happens to make you stronger. It happens to make you braver. It happens to make you exceptional. Life doesn't happen to you to make you feel less of yourself. No. So when you go through some situation, go through it and like, what is the lesson in this situation I'm going through? What is the lesson in this situation I'm going through? And like I said, the fact that a friend of yours traveled and have everything they needed doesn't mean that it will happen to everyone like that. Your case can be different. Like I mentioned earlier, I said everyone in this world will not be a doctor. Because just imagine a world where everyone is a doctor. Who will be the engineer? Excuse me, please. Who will be the pharmacist? Who will be the nurse? Who will be the teacher? Who will be the waiter? Who will be who would be the cook? So everyone have different purposes in life. So don't feel less of yourself because you see another person, having it all. You feel like this other person is having it all because of what they are portraying online. You don't write off yourself because you feel like this other person's life is better off than yours. No, we all have. Thank you so much. What is this beauty? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind comment. God bless you. So you don't feel down about yourself and feel like, oh, it's happening to others, it's not happening to me. We all have different paths we are going through. Like I mentioned, I wrote some things here and I said, I'm reading from them. I wrote here the third lesson. I think I just mentioned already that some things happen to you for a reason. You see, I said here, every setback carries a lesson. Why did what happened to you happen? Have you ever checked like that? Have you ever tried to ask yourself, like, what happened to you? Let's say, why did it happen? For my friend about the rent, I could say what happened to her about her rent is because maybe it happened for her so she could understand when people are crying about their rental issue. Because she never sympathized with anyone complaining about the rent. She says she feel like they are lazy people and all of that, So sometimes life happens to you, some setbacks. When some setback happen to you, ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Why is it happening to me? And here all over the video. Why is this happening to me? Why did it happen? You don't just say, oh, this is how my own situation is. Once you start having a positive attitude through every situation, you become victorious. Some situations, some people go, some setbacks, some people go. Okay? It breaks them and make them don't even want to leave. They become bitter. They become bitter and they become sad and everything. But some situations, some people go. One second. Some situations, some people go, it makes them to feel like life is not worth it. But if you put on a positive attitude, you will look at situations differently. You look at situations differently. You will ask yourself, what are you learning from that situation? What is this message trying to teach you? Okay, just a second, guys, please. 1 second, please. Hello, thank you so much for joining, guys. I'm just trying to respond to something here. Thank you so much, guys. Just give me a minute, I'm coming. Let me just handle this now. Sorry, guys. I had to handle some things, and thank you guys for waiting. And I'm here again fully. So, yeah. And for the part 3, if anyone have something to say, please, I'm open to have you invite you to come and join and let's have a talk. Like I said, we are talking about life. And Anita, please, you guys should not raise your voice. So I talk about we were on the part 3 of our lesson, and we talk about the lessons that you learn through the things you go through. Like I mentioned earlier, some people go through some things and it actually break them. You know, somebody will go through something and feel like it's the end of their life, you know, or this thing is happening to this person, it's not happening to me. Why is this person's own things more better than mine? You know, all those things that people always say. But if you learn to look at life differently, you will not break down. You will know that everyone's chapter is different, first. Second, you will look at it as a lesson. You will not look at it like something that is there to lessen you, to make you less of yourself. What am I learning through this process I'm going through? What am I learning through this process I'm going through? You know, I wrote here, I said every setback carries a lesson. What do you learn through everything you're going through? Every heartbreak reveals something about love. I believe a couple of us have gone through one heartbreak or the other, and it makes you to see people differently. Someone will say, oh, I will never fall in love again. I will never have anything to do with any guy or any girl again. But then you learn something that this person, once you have the right person for you, you start learning how to appreciate that person. You know, you feel like this person didn't treat me like that. This one is treating me differently. This person didn't talk to me like that. This one is talking to me differently. This person didn't appreciate me like that. This one is, you know, in that process, there was a lesson that was learned Now you're picking up that lesson and you're marching forward. In that, now you become appreciative. And once you become appreciative, the relationship is beautiful. You know, everything is beautiful. So let's say someone lost a job. It happens every time. You lost a job and you feel heartbroken. For me, I'm a businesswoman, okay? And if I should lose a client, I feel like it breaks me from inside. What I do personally is I start asking myself, where did I go wrong? Where did I do that make this client to leave? I try to learn something. I don't just be like, a client should go. No. What did I do that make this client don't want to work again with me? Where did I go wrong? Why did this happen? Maybe someone else is giving that client another better offer. If I should go and give this client another offer, should it make my business grow? You know, every lesson, every life situation is a lesson. And once you take life situation as lessons, I bet you guys, you start living a victorious life. A lot of people take life situations as oh, why is my own thing like this? That's how things always happen to me. I'm very unlucky. I'm very, people don't like me. No, you are loved. Just maybe you're not found among the right people. But if you put that in your mind, then you will not be victorious. But if you put in your mind that things are good, this is good, it will happen to you. It will happen to you. Trust me. Okay, so let's go. Now, I wrote here again that every no is making room for the right yes. You see, I just explained that. Every no is making room for the right yes. Now, let's imagine that someone is here having a bad relationship, going through a bad relationship and everything. And let's go to relationship because people are also into relationship here and there. And then that person happened to leave you when you know you love this person, you want to spend your life with the person and everything, and the person leaves you. The person said, no, I don't want this relationship anymore. Guess what I just read? I said every no is making way to the right yes. You will have that right person who will say yes to you, and you will open your eyes and see the way this person used to treat me, that I even used to appreciate. This other person is treating me better, that have taken me, so I'm in the right place. What about a job? You have a job and this goes for people that are putting in their best, because there are some people that don't put in their best in job. You have a job, you're putting in your best. You're being the best worker. You're being the best in everything you do. And then at the end of it, you don't do the right thing. Your clients will not be happy. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, they happen to send you away. You don't have to feel bad because that is not your fault. They put you away because there is a better yes for you ahead. I've had people lose jobs and then they got a better job. I'd lose a client that I was supposed to be of service to at a particular time. And then I was feeling bad. And then I had an offer for another client. So I was being of service to that client on monthly basis for a certain amount, okay? And then I lose that client. And I had another client who paid me that same amount for 1 week. So you see, every no leads you to a good yes, but when you're doing your job rightly. So try to pick up lessons from any situation you go through. I had a friend who wanted to go to a certain country, and she did everything humanly possible. She will pray to God, she will fast, she will seek the face of God, she will do everything humanly possible to have her visa to America. She did everything. She was even duped. She invested a lot of money. She wanted to go to America. She put in a lot of money and it didn't go through. She was hoping for the American lottery. Still, it didn't go through. And she told me that once the lottery came out, she had to say, God, I've done everything I could. I've put all my money I have. They have duped me. I've tried my own way. I've done everything. And it didn't go well. And this is the situation I am here now. What should I do? If you have left me in this country, it's because you have a purpose here on earth. on this country, in this country for me, because it was no more than God to help her have the American lottery she wanted to win. It was no more than God to help her have the visa, because the route she wanted to use to get the visa to go, other people have used it. She even connected some people there, and the people traveled to that same America. But when it was her turn, she didn't go. So she wasn't depressed. I applaud her for that. She wasn't sad. She just went to God and said, God, open my eyes. If you have leave me in this land, open my eyes and show me what you want me to do. Why am I here in this land? Why am I here? That brings us to what we say, every lesson is a lesson. Every situation is a lesson. So she started finding out, she started praying, and one during her prayer time, the Spirit of God revealed to her what she had to do. So she started something little, and today she's a great woman. One day I'm going to bring her to one of our live sessions so she will tell her story by herself. And I believe a lot of us are going to be very, very, very encouraged. Hi, thank you for joining. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Still under the part 4. We talk about the purpose. Okay. No, I think yes. Well, under every heartbreak, every no, yes. So we went now to part 4 where we talk about the purpose and the passion. I think I was already ahead, talking about the purpose and the passion. You see, you wonder why you're here. I already mentioned that actually. Why are you here? Why is this happening to me? Why? You know, you try to find out why. You know, why it happened to you, and also, have you ever asked yourself why you're here on earth? What is your purpose? You know, sometimes some people feel like, maybe especially the elderly ones, I need to try to get work, especially for those people abroad, I need to try and get work and send my money to my family out, to my family back home. I need to try and do this and spend for my family. I need to try and do this and, you know, support my siblings, let them know that I'm doing something. Is that your purpose on earth? Why are you here? Have you ever tried to sit down and ask yourself the purpose why you are here? Your purpose. Have you ever asked yourself the purpose you're here? And what is your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you doing the things you're doing? Have you ever asked yourself that? I bet a lot of us haven't, but we should. What is your purpose? Are you here to just try and catch up and pay your bills, pay your rent, or try to feed your wife and your family? Hello, thank you for joining our live session. We are streaming on TikTok and we are streaming on YouTube. So today, generally, we are talking about life, okay? And yeah, so purpose and passion. Find your purpose, find your passion. If you should ask me today, I'm going to ask you watching me, and if you're listening to me now on YouTube, type. I'm going to ask you who is watching me, what is your purpose? Now, let's say it's just an example. Someone wants to give you 3 million, whatever currency, and tell me your purpose. I want to finance it. Now, what will you tell the person? Just write it down. Put it in the comment section. What is your purpose? What do you want to be? What is your purpose? I know maybe life is not, maybe you are not there yet, or life is not being fair with you the way you think it's supposed to be, but still that doesn't stop you from having your mind to think of who and what you want to be. So I'm going to ask you to write it in the comment sections. What is your purpose? I'm waiting to read. Someone didn't write. What is your purpose? What's your purpose? Like, what is your purpose? You want something? Okay.
I want to show you something.
On live session, please. Okay, so no one wrote your purpose. You can tell us your purpose so we can, you should have a purpose why you're doing what you're doing, why you're on earth. You're not just here to pay your bills. I bet you know. That's not why you're created. You have a purpose. Did someone say anything? Hi, Khan. Thank you for joining. Most people don't have a purpose. Not because they stop finding, not because they don't have a purpose, but because they stop finding. you know. Thank you for the gift, Can. Most people don't have a purpose. Most people, they don't have a purpose. If you ask somebody what's their purpose, why they are here, they don't have it, you know. I said here that most people never find their purpose, not because it is hidden, but because they stop looking for it. What is your purpose? I'm going to leave you with this question. Oh, the session will end in a couple of minutes, but before I sign out, I want to ask you, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? Okay, now I would like you to do this, to try new things, okay? Try new things, follow your curiosity, serve others, express yourself, grow constantly. Find your purpose. Try new things. Try something different. Of course, you're working. You go to work every day and do the things you're doing. But when you come back, what do you do with your spare time? You hear people say there are online remote jobs. There are online things. And there are some things that you can do that are even making you money. Excuse me. While you're working for maybe your 9-to-5 job. Or there are some other ideas that you can learn, and at your job you add the idea there, and the boss or the owner of the company feels like, this person is very useful to our company, would like to, you know, give them more value and everything. So what is your purpose? What is your purpose? Find your purpose, try new things, and you'll find the one that you're more passionate about. Once you find the thing you're passionate about, you put in more energy to it, you put in more time to it, and you realize that everything becomes different. You know, things become so different, more than the way you thought it's supposed to be. More than the way you thought it's supposed to be. Find your purpose. Find your purpose, follow curiosity, and try new things every day. And you be consistent. Be consistent, be constant, keep doing what you're doing, and you will definitely be victorious. Definitely be victorious. Be consistent. Don't quit. Don't give excuses. Don't stop. Be hardworking. Stay focused. Sometimes you feel like you're giving in your best and things are not happening the way you thought they should happen. You shouldn't still give up. You still have to keep going. You have to keep going, and someday your life will turn out in a way you always imagine it. Don't feel like, okay, things are not happening the way I think. I'm not meant for this. Who is meant for that? Who is meant for that? You are meant for that. You're meant for that. So you have to be very, very positive. You have to be very positive. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to keep going. Okay? And then I wrote here the 5th point. I said, your story isn't over yet. You know, I don't care how broken you feel right now. I don't care how bad your past has been. You're still here, which means something. You heard what I just read? I don't care how broken you feel right now. I don't care how your past has been. You have something, because you're still here. You're still here, which means that something good is coming. You will be expectant. Be expectant. Don't say, oh, I knew it, this will happen to me. No, because you were expecting the negativity. Be expectant. Be expectant of positive things. Be expectant of good things. And before I close, I want anyone to, maybe, is there anyone who wants to join the live session, who have something to say, would like to join us? Maybe I can add you in the live. We are on live on TikTok as well as live on YouTube. Someone will have something. Someone is asking if I have PayPal account. I do have PayPal account. Do you want to bless me? Someone is asking if I have PayPal account. I do have a PayPal account. So, yep. Video sharing the live. So we have the closing engagement. We have a closing engagement that I want you guys to engage in. You have anything you want to add or something, we can just, add in the live session and we say something. Thank you guys so much for the gift. I appreciate you guys. Is there another thing someone wants to say? Someone wants to add? Okay, so we have gone through the live session and we have come to the end. But I'm going to close this by telling you guys that you guys are brave and you should keep being positive and you should not compare your life. We're going to just having a rundown of everything we've talked about. You should not compare your life to anyone else's life. You're different. You should be positive no matter what you're going through. And whatever situation you go through, always, always, always look at life in a positive way. Always look at life. Someone is asking, Abdulin Said is asking, I don't understand what you're asking, please. He said, do you have, yes, I do have a PayPal account. I do have a PayPal account. So, I do have a PayPal account. And again, like I mentioned, we are closing now. And you should be positive. You should be happy. And you should not allow anything to break you no matter what. I love you guys and do have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. We are closing first from the YouTube session. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?